start actually. I've got just what in the compilation section, starting with Trojan Records, Mento and Calypso. I kind of started listening to Caribbean music, Jamaican music via my dad that was into Calypso. And bizarrely, like, one of his favourite bands was actually a San Franciscan folk group who did a few Mento and Calypso tunes. They were called the Kingston Trio, and that was my entree into that sort of music. I actually wound up doing a few bits and bobs for Trojan, so yeah, Trojan's pretty important to my background in DJing and collecting. Scientist is obviously like as far as dub goes, Scientist is second to none. Pretty much on spec for UK audiences. Greensleeves were asking him to do dub versions of sides that he was cutting for various different singers like Barrington Levy and people like that. And they'd get Tony McDermott to illustrate the covers and do this whole theme that he wasn't even part of. And just by chance, I wound up getting Tony to do all my artwork, which was amazing. I met him when I was working on Duppy Writer with Roots Maneuver. And he's now done his third cover for me for the Reggae Twins album, so that's pretty cool. What else have we got? So, Desmond Dekker. I actually have this album. I've got most of the sevens pretty much, It Met, Israelites, etc. Obviously they're classics. There he is, I'm not sure, he's having a spliff, or maybe he's just smoking a fag, who knows. But I was lucky enough to catch Desmond just before he died. And it was actually a friend of mine's mum, who's expat Jamaican, was really excited. She was like, I haven't seen him since the 60s. And she said, watch him when he's singing, he sings out the side of his mouth. And it is true, like he used to sing, he'd hit certain notes and kind of sing like this. Really strange, but cool. Here we are in Resident Music's jazz section now, and people that only really know me for my reggae productions probably think that I'm just solely listening to reggae music, but actually, probably before reggae I was a jazz fan, partly from my family's doing. Like, my mum is massively into her jazz. She was a bit of a collector in her day. My granddad was actually a jazz pianist, and amongst other things he played drums, double bass, E-flat tuba, anything bassy pretty much as well. And that's led to years of collecting jazz. So yeah, this is a nice section to be in. I feel like I'm with my family, and so, you know, start off here with a bit of Uncle Sun Ra. You know, great album, great film too. Actually, it's well worth a watch. I did a gig with the Sun Ra Orchestra recently, which was I was supporting them in playing in Islington, and the promoter said, you can do it, we haven't got any decks, could you play off CD? And I'm just like, I'm a vinyl man really, but it just meant that I sat down with a whole load of records, recorded them from start to finish, and so, you know, it wasn't really a chore, it was something that I wouldn't normally do, but it meant that I've actually now got a load of my my jazz stuff recorded digitally, which I never ever get around to doing. But this was actually, I think this was the album they're promoting. Marshall Allen presents a summer orchestra. So a nice addition to this selection, because my friend Lewis Harris did the cover of this. It's a really nice comp on, I think it's a comp. Yeah, it's a comp on Strut Records. I don't actually have a copy myself. Strut, if you're watching, can I have one, thanks. But yeah, Lewis does all the stuff for Soundway Records and Sofrito and things like that. But he's got a sideline in some Ra albums as well now, which is pretty cool. What else have we got here? I was looking through this before. John Coltrane's a massive influence on me. I remember the first time I heard My Favourite Things. It was actually a guy that I used to work with in my teens in Waitrose, working on the fruit and veg counter there. There was this guy who was just massively into his tunes and came in one day and gave me a copy of it on CD and was just like, check this out. And yeah, I knew a few tunes, but I'd never listened to the whole album, and I was hooked, went straight out, bought it on vinyl, and I've got, there's quite a few actually I haven't got in here, but you know, Giant Steps is amazing. But I've probably got about 20 or so Coltrane albums. Alice Coltrane, his wife, absolutely incredible, carried on after him. I actually bought this for Christmas for my mum, who my mum's more of a trad and a bit of modern, but she does dabble a little bit. She came to the Sun Ra Orchestra concert She particularly liked it when they turned on the disco ball. And she was like, oh, I feel like I'm back at the Lyceum, like in the 1950s, which was pretty cool. This, I'm not really sure if she liked it. She didn't say she loved it. She said it was interesting. I love it. Amazing album. We're in the hip hop section now, and hip hop's been a massive influence on me over the years. I think actually, in terms of making music, I started off as an MC that a lot of people don't know about. But the reason why they don't know about it was I was never particularly good at it. So I think I was quite good at flow and lyrics, but I just didn't have the voice for it. So I left it to other people, and I like it like that. I like working with other MCs and other reggae artists. And for me, it all crossed over with a record by KRS-One, BDP, called "Stop the Violence" from about 1988. Which there's actually no BDP or KRS-One in there, which disgusts me. What are we even doing in this shop? I mean, for God's sake. But I mean, there's loads of amazing stuff in it. I mean, like straight down here, let's get in here. We've got the new Tropical Quest album, Under T. This is like messing with my OCD a little bit, even though I said Tropical Quest. They're called A Tropical Quest. It should be up there. But this is the new album's amazing. I actually got in contact with someone that I know at Sony saying I wanted to dub one of the tracks off it. I can't remember the name of it. There's a kind of reggae one. And as ever, I haven't heard anything back. So I actually don't have a copy on vinyl, so I'm going to buy that. Let's put that aside. Right, I'm having that. What else have we got in here? A lot of people are going to be saying, like, you know, sort of, are you going through, you got DJ Shadow there. I'm not a massive DJ Shadow fan. Some people are like, you're insane, you're mental. But behind that is D'Angelo, who's a great R&B artist. And the first album is just incredible. And he continues to be great, but that album particularly. What else have we got? Run the Jewels, loving all the Run the Jewels stuff. And obviously we've got to pull out my old mucker Rodney here, Roots Maneuver, who those who don't know, I did my album with him about 6 years ago now, and I met him. I'm a bit of a chancer, really. I do think, you know, if you're going to make something happen, just try and make it happen. So I heard one of the tunes, like, I think it was his new single of Slime and Reason, a track called Buff Now, and I had a mutual friend that knew one of the guys on Big Dada, and I was just like, you couldn't put us in contact, I want to talk to them about this. And he did me an email intro, and next thing I knew, I was producing a load of reggae versions of Roots Maneuver tunes. So we put out two. Did Slime and Version, which is the mini album that came out on limited edition with certain versions of that album. It was like 7 or 8 tracks, and then I got the job of doing just dipping into his entire back catalogue. Did a new track as well called Jar Warriors, and that was a really interesting relationship. And he's a fascinating guy. He's a bit sick at the moment, so you know, I hope everyone sort of pulls together. Wishing him all the best. Rodney's a genius. What else have we got here? I spotted these earlier. No, well, no, you know, most people are going to be saying, like, why aren't you looking at Nas? Why aren't you looking at, like, Mobb Deep or something like that? TLC. I love that album. Absolutely love it. Waterfalls, particularly. And there's actually 2 copies in 2 different sections. So, like, if you're inclined for doing juggles, nobody juggles TLC. I'm not a particularly good like hip hop DJ. Don't go chasing waterfalls. I don't know where that went. Here in the very small Fuji section. A lot of the time you get these artists where everyone's like, oh, I like the score, but did you hear their first album? I don't particularly like the first album, to be honest. It's alright, but the second album was actually amazing. And still play tracks like Zealots off that. That's a really nice track. How Many Mics as well. There's actually there's a nice dubby edge. I guess that probably comes from the like the Haitian element from Wyclef. What else have we got here? Ignore Dre. I'm not a fan of that side of stuff. Black Eyed Peas.
Not a fan of Dre?
Not particularly. No. I mean, like, you know, he's got his place. I didn't mind NWA, but when I was first getting into hip hop in the late '80s, I really found a lot of actually I got into hip hop from before that, really, like early 80s when I was really small, but I'm showing my age now. But with like NWA, I found it was the people that were being rebellious that wanted to listen to that kind of thing, and I was actually, it sounds pretty corny now, but I was into the more sort of conscious hip hop, which is why I went into the BDP camp, and I didn't really feel like there was anything to rebel against. My upbringing, so like listening to NWO was just like, oh, these guys are angry. But like Karis-Ron he sounded angry, but he was angry about something of worth, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I'm here in the Black Eyed Peas section, which people are like, oh god, Black Eyed Peas. I don't particularly like Black Eyed Peas, but I do actually like them the bit where they're kind of at their worst, or like just before they got really bad with stuff like that track Dirty Bit, and you know, I've had the time of my life. When they did My Humps, I actually think those are great tracks. They sampled one of my favourite kind of no wave electro groups, Sexual Harassment, for that tune, which, like, you know, no one knows about sexual harassment particularly, you know, unless like you're into underground music. But it's just mad that they sampled Sexual Harassment for a track called I Need a Freak. My nephew's nan, Mashi, I was at his 16th birthday party a little while back, and like, a lot of people do this. They're like, oh, you know, he's struggling on in music, you know, why don't you just make some pop music? And I was like, it's really not that easy. You know, it's like, why don't you just make a record with Rihanna? It's like, well, yeah, I would if I could. She was my favourite. She was just like, oh, I tell you should work with the guy off the TV show, you know, the black guy. And I was just like, I don't know who you're talking about. And it turned out it was Will.i.am. So, no thanks.